Hello everybody and welcome back to another video of Heroes of the Storm. Today we are continuing our How to Heal series and we've landed upon Brightwing. Pulling up the list here, you'll see that I have Brightwing in the Can Do All category, meaning she is the first healer on this list that has burst healing, sustain, and utility all baked into one beautiful kit. Another thing Brightwing has going for her that separates her from a lot of other healers, she is one of, I believe, 2.5 heroes that have a global ability, meaning she can be in 2 places at once. She's the only healer at level 1 that has this, and it makes her so powerful. From anywhere from Bronze League to Masters, she is a fantastic pickup, and you should be picking her in a lot of your games. Now, instead of saying why you should pick her, I'm going to tell you some reasons why she might not be the best pickup, and that is because Brightwing kind of lacks a wow factor. You know, some of the other healers on this list have a wow factor, like an Anduin Holy Word Salvation. At the right time, it just makes you drop your jaw and say, wow. A well-timed Ancestral Healing, especially at 20, just wins the game. Brightwing doesn't have a wow factor. You could argue that her Emerald Wind has something of that sorts, but it's kind of situational and not as easily utilized as the other abilities I just explained. Not only that, but of the other healers on that list, Brightwing kind of plateaus where you can do everything perfectly for her quite easily, meaning she doesn't have crazy combos like Anduin. He has things where you have to be pressing your buttons in the right order every time, on the right hero every time, hitting the most amount of enemies at the right time, landing your roots at the right time. Like, there's so much going on, whereas Brightwing, it's kind of just a mundane playstyle that slowly chips down your enemies and gives them no opening to crawl back from a deficit. And that's what makes Brightwing so special. Now, as always in this series, we're going to hop into try mode, and I'm going to explain Brightwing's kit in quick succession, so you're able to understand the terminology I'm using inside of this game. If you already know how Brightwing's abilities work, that's fine. You can just skip forward a couple minutes, but if you want to hear a quick overview, just to refresh your memory, stay tuned, and we'll hop into a try mode, and I'll show you how her kit works. Okay, we find ourselves in the try mode. Now, we're going to go ahead and explain Brightwing's kit and ability as quickly and efficiently as possible, but this might take a little longer than other ones because it's a lot to go over. So, jumping right into it, she has her Soothing Mist, her trait. This is a 2-part trait where there's an active portion and a passive portion, and they work completely differently. So we're going to go over the active portion first. It's a 75-second cooldown that costs no mana or any resource. Simply a timed cooldown. You activate to remove all stun, root, slow, and silence effects from nearby allied heroes. This radius of Soothing Mist's active portion is this blue outline you'll see around Brightwing. If I move around, you'll see that blue outline. So you can press your trait, for me it's F, boom, and it'll cleanse all your allies in that area. For remember, that is stuns, roots, slows, and silences. Long cooldown, so you got to be using that sparingly, but we'll talk more about it when we're in the game. Now, going about the passive portion of this ability, Brightwing heals nearby allied heroes for 241 at level 20 every 4 seconds. And the range of this is the same range as your other Soothing Mist active portion, this circle that's around Brightwing. So if I walk in range of my ally here, you'll see them get healed. Boom, just like that. And then it goes on a 4-second cooldown. That cooldown resets. Boom, he gets healed again. And that doesn't matter if it's 1 dummy or 3 Lost Vikings, they're all going to get healed for the same amount. Or 3 Lost Vikings and your whole team, doesn't matter. They're all going to get healed for that same flat line amount. But you'll notice that this heal is kind of ticking rather slowly. Every 4 seconds, that's good sustain healing, but not great burst healing, and truthfully, there's better sustain healing in the game. So how can I make that healing go a little bit faster? Well, that's where Arcane Flare comes in. This is a 35 mana cost, 6-second cooldown ability. It is a circle with a little circle inside of it, and how it works is you'll shoot this flare out that'll deal damage to enemy heroes hit inside of the flare. So it doesn't matter if they're hit by the outside portion or the inside portion, it'll deal damage regardless. With it critting if it hits an enemy unit on the inside. And of course, this works on both heroes, minions alike. So if I run down here and press that on these heroes here, this guy will get hit by a crit, and that one is not hit by a crit. And additionally, the cool part about this ability and what makes Brightwing's kit a little harder to play is if an enemy hero is hit by the center portion of Arcane Flare, your healing, your passive healing, Soothing Mist, will instantly activate. So watch the healing ticks on this ally. Every 4 seconds, they're getting that 241. But if I press Q on this enemy hero, they'll get a burst heal instantly and then healed again. So that healing's going up quicker if you're landing these. Every time you land a Q in the center, your Soothing Mist activates immediately. Moving on, another way to heal your allies, and this is the big way that you're healing your allies. This is the bread and butter for Brightwing, is her Z. It is called Phase Shift, a 40-second cooldown that costs nothing but a cooldown. No resource, just a cooldown. After 2 seconds, teleport to an allied hero and heal them for 25% of their maximum health. So this looks like this. You can use this anywhere on the map. If I go all the way back to home, I can still use this on this ally here because it is a global ability. I cannot stress how strong that is. So go ahead and just press our Z on this ally. 2 seconds goes by. Boom! Look at that healing. They're healed so much. And then you're able to do all kinds of stuff like jump in, heal them, and press your E on top of them. Your E is Pixie Dust. It is a 60 mana cost, 10-second cooldown ability that is a point and click on an ally hero to grant them 20 movement speed and 30 spell armor for 3 seconds, reducing all spell damage taken by 30%. So it's just an easy point and click. It can be used on yourself or an ally hero. Boom. You notice there's a little bit of travel time on it, but your ally gets some movement speed. I'll use it on myself so you can see just how much zoomies we get moving across the field like this. You can see we're moving, and then we're moving a little bit faster. And finally, Brightwing's last ability is called Polymorph. This is what makes Brightwing really good at stopping enemy heroes from diving her team, canceling abilities with enemy heroes with channeled abilities, or slowing down targets who are trying to escape. A 50 mana cost, 12-second cooldown that is once again a point and click. You notice she has 3 basic abilities that are point and click, making it very easy with Phase Shift, Polymorph, and Pixie Dust. You point and click on a target. Keep in mind, this can be either a hero, mercenary, or minion. And for 1.5 seconds, they will be slowed by 30% of their movement speed and silenced. Targets are also unable to auto-attack while they are polymorphed. So this looks like this. Boom. You're now a pig, and you can't do anything for a little bit of time. Remember that it's a silence, so it cancels abilities. It's a longer cooldown, but can do great wonders against things like a Illidan, Tracer, Genji, or even a mosh-pitting ETC, a sucking Gul'dan. All of these things get countered by a polymorph. Anyways, this has been a rather long intro, so we're going to hop into the game, show you how to play Brightwing, and hopefully have some fun. Alright, we find ourselves on the Volskaya Foundry today. Talking about our Skinergy, I have this Bewitched Brightwing skin. It's just Brightwing with a top hat. And I love the simplistic aspect of this skin and the simplistic aspect of a lot of other skins in this game. And I think that stems from, I used to play a game called Team Fortress 2. That was my childhood original game that I played growing up. Really got hooked on that one. Really loved that one. And in that game, all you did for cosmetics was really just put hats on. And that's all that this is. And I love games that implement that. We're going to go for Hyper Shift at level 1. And as always, we're going to talk about the builds and talents as the game goes on. Or we're going to talk about that at the end of the video, not as the game goes on. Because it's easier to explain my gameplay now and the talents later. But Hyper Shift, it might actually be nerfed by the time this video comes out. But minions die, and you can press your Z more often. Now that we're actually in the game, what you want to be doing is staying safe from burst damage. You don't want to be the one getting engaged upon. You want to be near the most amount of allies as possible. You want to be trying to land these Qs in the center, so you get that little burst healing for your allies. But the first thing you want to do, whenever you're even just in the loading screen as Brightwing, is you want to be looking at the enemy hero's kit and saying, okay, who's going to be the one that I need to polymorph? So in this game, I think it's going to be their 2 melee heroes. And if she goes it, the Lily with Jugs. Those are the heroes that will need to get polymorphed. And the second thing is, okay, what spells do I need to be watching out for to give my allies spell armor? And that's going to be probably just whoever is the person taking the most amount of damage in that second. Is going to be who's going to get the armor, because they don't have a huge damaging spell. unless he goes Sulfurious Smash, but that's hard to predict. So as Brightwing, you can be super flexible, and although in like the team fight aspect, you want to be grouped with your allies, you are fine to go split elsewhere on the map and just soak. As long as you are watching this top left portion of the map, 1, or 2, constantly checking with your actual camera to see who needs healing, when, where, and why. And then you can decide if you're gonna, you know, give them the big Z, or if you're just gonna let them handle it themselves. But basically, when you're playing Brightwing, you're picking her because you're trying to get an edge inside of the game. And that edge often comes from whittling down opponents. That means picking up all the soak that's available on the map. That means looking for anyone who got low on your team. Like I saw Junkrat was low, but I checked the fight there. So I just saw a health bar was low, and I checked where people were taking damage. And then, well, yeah, there's a fight. So although we're here soaking and whittling down red team in that aspect, we're watching to make sure that no one needs to get my heal. And it's good to check yourself as well as much as possible, because you don't want to be caught with your pants down and die. But we'll soak up this last minion here, and then we'll just rotate to the team fight the old-fashioned way by walking. And then stay as close to as many heroes as we can to get our passive Soothing Mist, healing as much allies as possible, because it is a passive heal. We're actually going to try to get these globes. And then we'll polymorph the... Here, there's a Z. But we polymorphed the Sylvanas so she couldn't use her E to escape. And that's like I said, you kind of got these checks to look for. So that's another thing we can look for, is polymorphs on heroes who have abilities that are disengage / movement abilities, because that will silence them whenever they're polymorphed. We'll send out another Q to clear that out. There's an E. We're gonna try to cancel out that Hogger's Q so he doesn't stun my my poor Gazlo. We got the first 56% capped on this objective. But with my Z down and my Zarya gone, we're going to just try to kill these minions to get my Z back up. And then use it on, I suppose, the Gazlo player will do. We can polymorph the melee heroes, give an E to our closest hero to the action, which was Gazlo at the time. And then continue to stay close. And look, we're not making any crazy big plays, but we're helping to chip down our opponents' mental by soaking minions here. I need to be bottom lane to soak up all this soak here. And we can do that because we're playing Brightwing. We can soak these minions up. That'll help reduce the cooldown of our Z. And we can be back in that fight in an instant, as well as giving our team level 7. This is not a crazy, big, flashy play like you can get from some other heroes. But it is a impactful play that is going to help continue to give your team the edge that they need. We'll hop inside of the Protector and start to pummel down the first building that we see. And one thing to note whenever you're playing really any hero in the game, but especially a healer, is it is okay to jump out of the Protector, give your ally a big heal, and then jump out. And then jump back in. We're just trying to get as much poke damage out here as we can, but we're kind of getting rolled in the Protector currently. Don't really want Junkrat to die, so I'm keeping an eye on him. I'm going to hop out of this in case I need to use that Z top lane. I can, but if not, I can use the movement speed from my E, head bottom lane, and pick up more soak. We're top soak on our team as a healer. Like, not a lot of heroes can offer that outside of the bruiser / assassin class, yet Brightwing can, and it's so lovely to see. Gotta love Hanzo and his shenanigans he can pull. Give my ally some movement speed. Polymorph that hero to slow him down. Watching that top lane because we've been watching this Junkrat for a long time. We're trying to just make sure he's not going to die. Looks like with just Sylvanas there, he'll be fine. We're going to just Z to him, though, because he's the lowest HP ally. And so it's not going to hurt anything to get to him. We'll go to a lane where I can pick up Soak to give me the cooldown reduction on my Z. And like I said, I kind of butchered at the start, but we will talk about all of the talents and the build path we're going at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. We'll polymorph this hero because I don't want him coming too close to my team and ruining our day. And I should have been thinking about what R I want. So you go Blink Heal if you need general healing, as well as which we do need. We need general healing, as well as an escape for Brightwing. And then you go for... Oh, you're in danger, my friend. And then you go for the other ult if you need the small chance that you need a comeback wow factor, as that is your only option for a comeback wow factor, is picking up Emerald wins. Trying to just maneuver this fight as easily as possible. You have such a long range on Blink Heal that it is so good at getting around. I kind of want to pick up the globe here. So we'll get the globe, get a little bit more cooldown reduction, and we can do an easy base trick where you can base as this hero, get the big bursting in mana or healing, whichever one you need in that moment. Trying to protect my allies as much as possible by pressing Q, R, and my trait as well to cancel some spells. Really well done, though, by my allies. We'll give our allies the armor, because we can always run easily. And really good healing. We had the mana to sustain that fight because we based right before it, and then we were able to use our Z to get back into the fight. But now we have a little bit of downtime. Hopefully my ally knows to back out, because I'm waiting for my spells to come off of cooldown. We'll have it back up just about now, and we can use this to hopefully protect him. Really well done. That's just the Brightwing mechanics, where these aren't super flashy plays compared to some other healers, but it's whittling down red team. Them missing that pick there saves us on a little bit of XP that over the course of an entire game is going to make a big difference. But if you are over the course of an entire game losing, it's going to not make as big of a difference, because you are you're not going to have that wow factor. Like I said, you could go Emerald Wind, which would help slightly with a wow factor, but it's not going to be as good as some other heroes do. I'll let her pick it up because I think she will be better with it than I. We want to be in whatever lane needs soak. Okay, this hero needs some savings though, so we'll give her a little bit of saving. Give her our E, because our E now grants crit heals. And just do my best to protect, as right now, currently, try to block some damage. Right now, currently, we don't have a huge saving factor for my allies. Oh, I really wanted to kill that hero. Good healing, though, by their Lily and the... Gotta go middle. And the camp that they had captured. But during this time, Gaz was taking bottom lane. I'll get my Z back up here, as well as a little bit more soak. I really want to get as much soak here as possible without my allies dying. Alright, that's pretty good. We can rotate towards him now, I think. I do have my Z, so we can be bottom lane whenever we need to protect. Oh, that's a silly amount of damage you just took, my friend. We're gonna base, in fact. We'll base to get that mana boost, and then we have our Z to get back in the fight when and if friendly team wants to go into the fight. We'll ping that we have it. Maybe we'll just start heading to a different lane entirely, because I don't think they'll get on top of the objective in time. That's enough damage taken for my ally to make me afraid. There is the Jugs of 1,000 Cups. That's what the word I'm trying to say. Which we tried to cancel. We didn't do a great job of it, though, unfortunately. I have my Sippy Cup up because I used my Z combo earlier. Landing those Qs, getting us that cooldown reduction, as well as burst healing. That quick burst healing. Oh, I missed my polymorph on their healer. That's who I was looking for. Grant my allies movement speed. Really just mashing my face on the keyboard. We're pinging danger here. We're gonna have to maneuver this perfectly if we don't want to die. I can do this play, by the way, because I have my Z up and I can watch this fight. So we're gonna look to do that. We'll pick up a little bit of soak there. Here comes our Z inbound, healing up an ally. Polymorph this hero so that she can't use her E, the second cast of her E, to get away. Unfortunately, we didn't have the manpower to kill her, but not bad nonetheless. We're going to polymorph the Jugs of 1,000 Cups. Give myself a little bit of armor here. Activate our trait, which I don't know if it's cleansed much of anything. Oh, now would have been a good time to cleanse stuff. We're going to try to bait red team into fighting me, and then we'll blink to my allies. Going pretty well so far. Polymorph Hanzo's Q. My Z's back up in 2 seconds, so we're looking for whoever needs it. Gazlo, you were the lucky winner today. We'll keep him polished off. I could have based before that, I suppose. It does look like... Oh, wow, I was inside of that? I didn't know we'd get hit by that lava wave. I am bad. See if we can protect Junkrat a little bit from any shenanigans that might come his way. I kind of feel like I need to be bottom lane. We got to be middle, too, though. There's so many spots we need to be, and this is... Brightwing can get a little bit overwhelmed whenever the game starts to get into this stage where there's too much fighting going on. I need to get this cooldown reduction up as quick as possible to get something on top of this hero. Unfortunately, we don't quite have enough to get what we need. We can land some good spells, though. We're going to try to bait these enemy heroes out to make them fight me instead of... or chase me instead of anyone else. We are managing to keep our ally alive, trying to tank any skill shots we can for him. I got my Z back up during that fight, and I didn't use it advantageously. We're going to base now to get full mana, and then we can re-engage with our Z if anyone needs it. Looks like everyone walks out scot-free, though. You can still see we're top soak on the team compared to their Lily, who is bottom soak for her team, and we are still out healing their healer. This does come at the cost of a little bit of damage, but for a little bit of damage, we have so much crowd control BS. We'll just Z into this fight because I'm sick of walking, and it won't hurt anything besides my cooldown. So we'll ping that for my allies. A little bit of downtime right now. We picked up Hush, which gives me another opportunity to reduce damage, and these are just, I'll explain this all at the end, but Brightwing has so many things going for her that allows her to just be such a nuisance for red team. It really is quite beautiful to see whenever you're the one having a Brightwing on your team, but whenever you're not having a Brightwing on your team, it can be rather frustrating. I'm gonna polymorph this this Hogger. Oh no, it's all coming down. We're gonna Z out of here because I think I die if I don't Z out of here. So we at least live. I doubt we'll save my ally. That's all I got for you, friend. There's one more. Really well done by our Zarya player. She absolutely saves us all there. We can start to turn on this hero a wee bit. Red team getting that objective capped in the bottom lane. A little bit frustrating. And Junkrat's gonna die in top lane if he's not too careful. So we're getting that cooldown reduction up. Is there a wild Hanzo here? Oh no. I wasn't watching them. I was watching top lane, not this little fight happening. We'll save Zarya because she has a turret, is what she had. Red team's still pushing up that objective. Not optimal. And I need to get cooldown reduction on my Z, so we're going to go find a minion wave and plant ourselves inside of it. And this is what I mean. These last few fights have been a little bit uncoordinated, and it's kind of shown that lack that we have in our, I'm going to say it again, in our wow factor. We'll Z to her. Using ourself as bait and then protecting and then blinking towards our ally is a super viable and often used strategy. Well done by the friendly team. Despite us losing objectives, we have done a really good job of getting buildings as a team. Give that ally a little bit of armor. Trying to get that crit heal rolling. Don't have my Z for another few seconds, but we can landing those Qs, giving the burst heals is really helpful. We're gonna base now. Because our Z's coming right off, we're gonna base now. Because our Z's coming off of cooldown, we can get full healed on ourselves. Oh my god, I canceled it. I thought I based already. But I have that Z ready to use any second now. The lucky winner is Zarya. And the reason we picked Zarya is for two reasons. One, she was low. And two, priority healing. You got to think at the start of the game, who is your priority target? Who has been your favorite hero in the game? Who's going to be helping you out the most if they're alive and hurting you the least if they're dead? Polymorph this hero so he can't cause any more shenanigans that he already has started to. Really well done there by Junkrat, and truthfully the whole friendly team. We'll get the camp. We have my Z back up so we can use that if we need be. But I'm going to start going elsewhere on the map because I think the friendly team is going to be cool to continue to push where they're at without the help of me. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Woo. A little bit too tight for liking. We are losing elsewhere, like I was saying. That Sylvanas is pushing. I'm hoping we can just push down this keep, though. And I need to be picking a level 20 talent. They're all good. All of Brightwing's 20s are good. And like I said, we'll review all of this at the very end. Polymorphing the Hanzo. That's a huge stagger kill for us. Try to grant a little bit of armor, which will help keep this hero alive for at least another moment. I got my Z back up. We'll give that to Gazlo. That happens much more quick now because of the level 20 talent we've picked up. I got to be checking. Yeah, she did go for better R's. I do have this turret ready to use. I'm just debating if I want to use it. I think I do. Ooh, a little bit afraid because I'm the one tanking. My Z will be up in just a moment, so we're going to base and then use that Z. Once again, this is giving us a little heal. And then we can come back out here and full heal, not full heal, but give huge healing aspects to my allies. We get the building captured. Here comes another mind control by that polymorph, immediately polymorphing that Lily's abilities as well as hushing her. See if we can't land another Q. Really well done by the friendly team. Triple kill late in the game here. That should close this out, especially with Zarya at full HP. And if I wanted to, I could base one more time, but I don't think that's going to be necessary just yet. We'll use Z right here. Because there's so many minions, I don't doubt that we'll be able to get good cooldown reduction up. And have that Z ready to use in just another moment. Kind of wanted to slow that Hanzo at a better time than I did. Do my best to spread my healing out on top of every ally inside of this game. Polymorphing the Hogger at the last moment, which I think saved us a little bit. We can base now. I'll ping that I got my Z up. That's ready to use on top of who's going to be the lucky winner this time. Zarya. We'll give it to her. And using it as quickly as possible to get that cooldown reduction happening as quickly as possible. Because without your Z, your Z is your biggest aspect that you have as this hero. And without it, you can be exploited as a team. Trying to stay near my allies to give them little bits of healing here and there. Pick up the regen globe. And you can see the healing deficit between me and Lily is massive. And it's partly due to the fact I don't like this at all. Saving my Z. I know someone's going to need it in a moment, but I don't want to waste it. Zarya will get it. She'll also get the spell. Spell armor. That'll get us a huge pick, and I need to be looking for whoever else needs healing for my team. Double kill. Lovely. The enemy team's core is only at 59%. So we could technically push in bottom lane and maybe look for a kill on their core, but that is a little bit of risky business, especially when we got this objective just about to be capped, which could be the cherry on top for us. Just to really finish this game out perfectly. We'll continue to stun and abuse red team as best as possible. I don't have my polymorph up just yet. There's a Z. A little bit of armor here. If it's not quite off of cooldown yet. Really good pick, though. We'll stop this hero from running away. Blink to my ally by disorienting red team. Get the last auto attack on top of the Sylvanas player. And with that, we are finally going to be able to finish out this game. Really tight, close game. And well done by the whole friendly team. But you can see we never made any crazy big plays. Just a lot of little plays that add up to get yourself the win. Oops, sorry. So yeah, huge healing deficit there. Our soak, second highest on the team. And when it was impactful during the game, like the early stages of the game, that's what really helped give us a little bit of a lead. You can see Brightwing is totally capable of getting huge number stats when it comes to healing. So now we're going to go ahead and review the build that I went in today's video, as well as some other builds that you can go for this hero in the talents. Although she does have a pretty straightforward build path that is getting nerfed, so I'm interested to see how it will play after. It's probably by the time this video is out, it'll be changed. Maybe not quite. But level 1, we go for Hyper Shift. So increase phase shifts healing by an additional 6% of the target's maximum health. So it goes from, I think it's a 25% heal to a 31% heal, which is a massive heal on a short cooldown. And then additionally, nearby enemy minion deaths reduce phase shifts cooldown by 1 second. So going near the minion waves gets you that cooldown reduction. This is the big talent that's getting nerfed. I think the increased health, maximum health heal from it is going from 6 to I think 4, and the cooldown reduction is going from 1 second to half a second. So I still think this talent will be a great pickup, and it fits well into Brightwing's kit, because if you remember, focusing on the hero's kit is so important. Brightwing is about being in 2 places at once and saving your allies with impactful, well-timed spells rather than hard-thinking, sweaty combos. We then go for Dream Shot at level 4 because this hero is already so basic, straightforward. This adds a little bit of skill to her. So it increases your Arcane Flare, your Q, your range of it by 50%. Hitting a hero with your Q in the center reduces its cooldown to 2 seconds, meaning it's easier to land your Qs now, and landing your Qs allows you to land more Qs, which gives you more healing. Super fun aspect that, without me picking this talent, makes me feel very trapped. I then go for Peekaboo at level 7, and you can change this for other things that we'll talk about at the end, but Peekaboo, phase shifting to an ally hero grants both Brightwing and her target a shield for 4 seconds, and also reveals a large area around them for 5 seconds. This shield is super impactful because oftentimes when you Z in as Brightwing, you get hit by random collateral damage that really hurts her and can just end up being a suicide run for Brightwing if you don't have Peekaboo. But like I said, there's other talents you can go. At level 10, I explained this as best I could during the game. Basically, Blink Heal's what you go when you need general healing for your allies and good maneuver ability inside of fights to move away from heroes who are jumping on top of you. I didn't need it so much for the second aspect, but especially for that extra burst healing you can get on allies is why I love this talent. And then we went to Safety Dust. It increases Pixie Dust, your E, duration by 1 second, and then Soothing Mist and Blink Heal allies with an active Pixie Dust for 75% more. I feel like I didn't speak English right there. Basically, if an ally has Pixie Dust on top of them with this talent, your passive healing and your Blink healing will heal for more, which thus increases your pick rate on Blink Heal if you know you're going for Safety Dust, and increases the pick rate of Safety Dust if you know you're going Blink Heal. Then Hush at level 16. Enemy heroes hit by the center of Arcane Flare are silenced for 1 second. That in itself is strong enough. They could have ended the talent there. Instead, they put on this extra cherry on top that makes this talent even better. So enemy heroes hit by the center of Arcane Dust are silenced for 1 second and deal 25% less damage for 3 seconds. Super impactful for heroes who are dealing high octane damage to your team. This helps prevent that high octane damage and keeps your allies slightly more healthy by reducing enemy heroes' effectiveness. It's great versus auto attackers and mages alike, and I love Hush, especially in combination with Dream Shot at level 4, giving you more Hushes or E's or Arcane Flares to pump out, which increases your healing. It's just a beautiful cycle of healing and silencing and utility. Then we go for Speedy Dragon at level 20. Like I said, all of her 20s are really strong. I felt Speedy Dragon was good because as the game progressed, I did feel like I was getting overwhelmed because they had things like Fleet Footwork and Will of the Forsaken, and then Hogger's baseline movement speed that he gets. Or no, it's a talent, but he didn't go it. But I felt like they were moving very quickly, and so Speedy Dragon Brightwing permanently gains 20 movement speed. Additionally, it reduces phase shift's cast time by 1 second. So it goes from a 2-second cast time, which is pretty long. You have to be really thinking about that using that Z before your hero is going to die, to now you just press Z and you almost always will land it and get a nice heal on top of your allies. So that's the build that I go. This is honestly 80 to 90% of my games I go this build. There's slight fluctuations that we can talk about now. So at level 1, Hyper Shift is like a must pick every time, in my opinion, with Brightwing. At level 4, same with Dream Shot. It's a must pick. Those two are pretty concrete. But level 7, it can fluctuate. Sticky Flare is very good, especially if you're trying to learn and focus on landing your Qs as Brightwing. This is a nice little handicap that you can eventually shy away from and pick better talents, but Sticky Flare is very good for learning this hero, and it's also good for helping add peels if enemy heroes are very movement-oriented with like Illidan's and Tracers. You can help protect yourself a little bit with that. Emerald Wind is super strong as well. Great for cutting off choke points, canceling ults, and all kinds of fun plays you can make with it. Both of them are good. They're just so different. Where some ults are like Orphea's ults, they both have a damaging aspect, and it's just like, okay, do I want to land a combo, or do I want to combo off of allies? Whereas these ones are so different. It's like, do you want healing and safety for yourself, or a big giant push? It's kind of weird, but definitely impactful and really strong for boss control. I don't think I covered that in the intro, but boss control is one thing Brightwing has in the bag, with Emerald Wind being a 50-second cooldown that almost guarantees you will get any camp or point objective, making her a high priority pick, even more so than she already is. Level 13, all of these are great. Some people say that Safety Dust is the only pickup. All of them are great. So we're just going to run through them quickly here. So Pixie Burst. Your Pixie Dust adds a movement speed bonus, 50% decaying to 20% over 3 seconds. This is really good for diving on enemy heroes, dodging skill shots, and escaping enemies. Chase down. Like, there's so much potential with this talent that works better the more coordinated your team is. And it's probably the least effective at this tier, but still very strong. The least effective for quick match, but still very strong, especially if you have a team that knows what they're doing with it. We already talked about Safety Dust. It's just like the general pickup that you go in most games. But Pixie Power is, and was for the longest time, my go-to pick until I actually read Safety Dust and realized that Safety Dust heals for more off of Blink heals as well. Pixie Power reduces the cooldown of your Pixie Dust by 3 seconds, your E. Additionally, increases the spell armor granted by 25. So that goes from being a 30 spell armor grant to a 55 spell armor grant. It is so strong. Additionally, it goes from a 10-second to 7-second cooldown, and it's active for 3 seconds, meaning there's only, calculate, like a few seconds of downtime with this ability, making it so strong to spam out and protect your allies from high burst damage like Pyroblast, Kel'Thuzad combos, and other mage builds alike. Level 16, this is one of the funnest talents in the game. It comes at this tier, and it's Phase Out. Phase Out is one of the smoothest abilities in the entire game. It's a 20-second cooldown that you activate to place Brightwing in a stasis for 3/4 of a second. That's it, but you can use this to dodge Stitch's hooks, Kel'Thuzad combos, Pyroblasts, all kinds of crazy burst damage that you just say no. Any poison damage, you say no. It's just boom. Such a well used ability that runs so smooth. I don't know. I can't describe just the way whenever you press 1 and this ability goes out, it just feels so smooth, and I love it. So I would recommend this for the things that I just said to protect yourself from. It's still a good pickup, although Hush is what you're picking in most games. And then finally, Criticize is a good talent, but I think it gets outshined by the other two. The only time I'd pick this up is if your team is doing a really good job at focusing down an Illidan or a Tracer or a Genji, but let's be honest, when does that really ever happen? And then finally, level 20, the big one, Invisible Friends is great for shutting down auto attackers because you're able to stealth your allies, and it makes it so auto attacks no longer can target them. Additionally, it's good for just adding an extra burst of healing. Truthfully, it is the weakest one at this entire tier. Intensive Winds is the flip. It is probably the strongest one, although the dumbest one, the strongest one, because it adds so much chaos. And sometimes chaos is all you need to win a game. Get in your enemy opponent's head and give your allies the edge they need to overcome their foes. So Intensive Winds used to be balanced, where it used to increase the mana cost. They scrapped that and said, nope, it's just a 5-second cooldown. Like, I imagine Blizzard was just sitting at their desks laughing their tails off when they were thinking about reducing or removing the mana cost and just making it be like a 5-second cooldown for Emerald Wind. It's so silly, but it is fun to play and can help your team out significantly in the later stages of the game if you really are lacking peels. Speedy Dragon, we talked about it already. Super strong pickup, probably the second strongest at this tier. I don't know. These kind of all have a 3-way tie depending on what you need. And then finally, Fairy Protector. It's a 45-second cooldown, but you activate to apply Pixie Dust to all nearby heroes. Nearby ally heroes, obviously. Pixie Dust also, passively, it will always bounce back and be applied to Brightwing. So this keeps Brightwing healthier, but also it adds, and Brightwing lacks this, a wow factor. You combo Fairy Protector with Pixie Power, your whole team is nearly immune to spell damage for 3 seconds. That is disgustingly strong. You add that to Safety Dust, every ally is getting bonus healing now. That is disgustingly strong. You add that to Pixie Boost, all your team is moving at the speed of light. It is disgustingly strong. Fairy Protector is a good talent that you want to be picking whenever your team is kind of getting, like I said, you need that wow factor, or your team is getting hit by bigger combos and you need that extra burst to them to overcome a team fight. Anyways, that was how to heal Brightwing. A very simplistic hero that once you just understand, once you're in that loading screen saying, okay, I'm going to press my W on only these 2 heroes, or only when this ability is being cast. Okay, I'm going to press my E on typically it's just whoever's taking damage, or I'm going to wait for my E to time it whenever Kel'Thuzad lands his combo. And then I'm going to just soak a lane and press Z when allies get low. It's such a simple game plan that is so strong and can help you carry your team to a lot of victory without a lot of brain power. I love this hero. She's a little strong. This video's dragged on. We're going to end it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are still watching, please go ahead into the comments, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.